As we discussed in earlier videos, just understanding a concept alone isn't enough when it comes to the LSAT. You have to internalize that concept. Argument analysis as a skill should be something you can just do automatically without even having to think about it. That's where pyramids come in. Pyramids are one of the most powerful tools in our LSAT arsenal. They give us a way to deconstruct arguments in an intuitive, visual way that we can practice over and over again. Here's how to use them. We can start with this really simple argument from a previous lesson. I should quit my job because I just won the lottery. We want to break this argument down into its component parts, which we introduced earlier in the unit, specifically the conclusion and the premises. First, we read the argument, then use the why test to identify which part of the argument is the conclusion and which is the premise. Why should I quit my job? Oh, because I just won the lottery. Clearly then, the first part here is the conclusion, and the second part here is the premise. Okay, great, so we're all set there. Now let's use the pyramid to chart out this argument. We can start with this really simple triangle shape. That's your pyramid. Then we draw these two horizontal lines across the middle, which create this little triangle at the top and this broad base area at the bottom. The triangle at the top is where the conclusion goes. The base area is where our premises go. We'll talk about how to pyramid an argument with multiple premises in a later video, but in this example, we just have one premise anyways. Don't worry about this middle section for now. We're going to get into it in the next unit. You may notice that there isn't really enough space in this pyramid for us to fit our entire conclusion and premise into it. That isn't a bug, it's actually a feature of the pyramid, because what it does is it forces us to boil each part of the argument down to its purest logical meaning. So instead of writing in this whole sentence, we can just write in quit job. Instead of this whole premise, I can just write it as won the lottery. This is important because it trains your ability to condense information and extract what's important. Finally, just draw this arrow from the premise up to the conclusion, which represents the support relationship extending from the premise to the conclusion. And that's it. Hopefully you can see how this shape represents the quote-unquote shape of an argument. The premises are the base, and the conclusion at the top is resting on them. While other arguments you'll come across later can get a little bit trickier than the one in this example, this simple but powerful shape will give you everything you need to tackle even the most complex arguments. Watch the next video to understand the true power of the pyramid.